Globelics, which is basically a scholarly community, it's an academic community, defining the academic community relatively broadly, has been able to have much in the way of an impact on the actual policy discussions and policies in different countries. I think it probably has had some, but we are all amateur political scientists. Some of us even are professionals. And you know that the influences on public policy are very, very diffuse.
I can be proved wrong, but I do not think it has a strong impact yet. I think that is exactly what you just said, a shared vision that could come out of Globelics, so that in the policy arena we actually present it for not just specific governments, but even if it emerges like, see, something like the World Bank has huge capability to inject maybe the wrong policy. But if we have some ideas that are good, that emerge from our community, we must be able to kind of spread it well. And that I'm not sure we have done yet. But you know, we're too early. I mean, we're just 6 meetings. But we need to think clearly about how we can do that, yeah.
I think Globelics in itself probably cannot achieve something in terms of changing policies or changing public opinion or something of that sort. But the people that take part in Globelics can do that. So to the extent that many people that would otherwise not have been so much in contact with these ideas and taken part in this discussion start to do that, then Globelics can have that impact. And I think that maybe that's happened to some extent.
I think more it will have a still larger impact in the future. I think it has shaped the mindset of many researchers, and these researchers will bring this agenda better into policy circles in the future. But I think for this to happen, it will take a little time. But I think it's already been initiated. You can see how references are made in policy documents and so on to various products of Globelics. But I think the big impact is still to come in the future.
There's a very famous book, which you have heard of, if not have read, by John Maynard Keynes, titled The General Theory of Income, Employment, and Wealth, I think, but not quite right. And in the last paragraph of that book, which had an enormous influence on policy, in some sense or other, we are all Keynesians. Now, he anticipated that by saying that if you consider the ideas for policy that are floating around in the heads of politicians and administrators and whatnot, there's always the question of where those ideas came from. And Keynes went on to say that a very large fraction of them came from the writings of some academic scribbler. And my belief is that as this community broadens, while you may have a few direct links between people doing scholarship in this area who happen to go to work in government or things of that sort, or have friends in government, what mainly will happen in terms of influence is that the ideas get into the air and they get picked up and they become part of what everybody really thinks is true. And they probably are true. And some of them even become quite obvious. And nobody quite recognizes that without all that scribbling and all that discussion, nobody would have thought of them.